Right now on News 3, an update on the flooding conditions in downtown Madison and the biggest threat moving forward. Plus, recognizing our local first responders on this extended Labor Day weekend.
This is News 3 at 10.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you had a great Labor Day holiday. Eric and Charlotte have the night off. We are entering our third week of historic flooding here in Dane County, and there is more rain on the way. Some of it could be in the form of strong storms. So let's get to the forecast right away, and meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Gary?
Susan, it's not looking good already. We've got heavy thunderstorms moving into parts of southwestern and west central Wisconsin. As we start out by taking a look at the alert days that are in place, we do have alert days for tonight, tomorrow, and for Wednesday for the possibility for thunderstorms that could produce heavy downpours. Some of that could lead to additional flooding, as well as the possibility for gusty winds. I don't think so much so tonight, but maybe tomorrow evening. Now, a flash flood warning has just been issued until 1:15 a.m. for northern Crawford, northern Richland, and southern Juneau counties, as well as areas back to the west into the La Crosse area. That's the area that over the next 48 hours could experience the heaviest rainfall of 2 to 5 inches or more. Most of southern Wisconsin will probably see about 1 to 3 inches of rain generally, but locally heavier amounts. On Doppler track, you can see some heavier thunderstorms moving out of eastern and northeastern Iowa into the La Crosse area and just to the south over toward Prairie du Chien, and then more thunderstorms are developing farther back in southwestern Iowa that could reach us later tonight into early tomorrow morning. Severe weather outlook for tomorrow: again, a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms to our north and west for isolated strong wind gusts. Lows this morning upper 60s. Highs today only made it into the lower 70s thanks to the cloud cover and the rain. Current temperatures are still in the upper 60s to lower 70s, and dew point temperatures are very close to the actual temperature. That's leading to areas of fog forming, especially close to Lake Michigan. Mitchell Field already down to a quarter-mile visibility in Milwaukee. By tomorrow morning, look for areas of fog along with some scattered shower and thunderstorm chances during the day. Tomorrow's high temperature a little bit warmer at 83 degrees. We'll look for a better chance for thunderstorms tomorrow night into Wednesday. I'll have more in weather in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Gary. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin giving an update today on flood conditions around the city. The mayor says although Lake Mendota is down about an inch from its record high, Lake Monona, after last night's rain, has set a new record and is currently 7.5 inches above the 100-year flood level. This will lead to continued flooding and road closures on the Near East Side. Mayor Soglin says the flow of water out of Lake Monona continues to be a major challenge.
Again, it's going to take us one solid week of sunshine before we can start talking about the immediate crisis ending and getting into active recovery mode, at least in the Isthmus and Lake Monona areas.
Mayor Soglin says as of now, the west side areas that flooded 2 weeks ago are not in any immediate danger. He says at this point he also does not anticipate any issues with the first day of school tomorrow.
We've only got one school that's really in an area that might be subject to flooding, and that's O'Keefe. And we're in close contact with school administration. So far, that's not a problem.
In Montello, however, a different story. The school district there has already canceled classes tomorrow because of flooding. The district posted the alert on its website today saying all classes will be canceled. The police department says it's related to the closure of Highway 22. And with Lake Monona now at record highs, the city of Monona is bracing for more flooding. Filled sandbags along with additional sand and bags are still available at Oneida Park, and the city may be looking for more volunteers to sandbag. All 3 City of Monona boat launches remain closed until further notice. The Baraboo River is going back down after cresting this weekend. There isn't much damage, but Sauk County is telling us they aren't done with the flooding yet. Today's rain shouldn't affect much, but the biggest concern going forward is tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Sauk County tells us other towns that were hit, Rock Springs, Reedsburg, and Laval, should also be on the lookout for those storms. In the western part of the state, last week's rain has caused a lot of damage to many communities in the Coulee region. In 2008, the village of Gaze Mills saw the Kickapoo River rise to 20 feet. Well, this year, flooding broke that record, climbing to 22 feet. High water from torrential rainfall across the region has once again devastated this small community.
The water level, it got into a lot of places that had never been before. 100-year-old homes that never had been flooded have had a foot of water or more.
Now the water levels have receded, so the work can begin. The town's community center has become the headquarters for an endless collection of items for those in need. A statewide silver alert has been issued tonight. 71-year-old Franklin Crandall Jr. was last seen at 1 o'clock this afternoon in Montello in Marquette County. He has lived there most of his life. It's believed that Crandall became disoriented while driving due to the floodwater and road closures. He was driving a black 2015 Dodge Ram quad cab truck. The license plate is KX5498. Another big weather story tonight. Tropical storm Gordon is moving through the Gulf of Mexico. The storm is now churning through warm waters in the Gulf and is expected to strengthen. The National Hurricane Center says Gordon could become a Category 1 hurricane. Louisiana's governor has signed an emergency declaration and activated 200 members of the National Guard. Trade will once again be front and center this week as the U.S. and Canada negotiate a new trade agreement. President Trump sent several tweets threatening to lock Canada out of a new NAFTA agreement. He tweeted, "The U.S. has tremendous upside potential as we go about fixing some of the worst trade deals ever made by any country in the world. Big progress being made." The administration notified Congress of its intent to reach a new NAFTA deal with or without Canada. Senate confirmation hearings for Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump's pick to be the next Supreme Court justice, begin tomorrow. Democrats say President Trump is blocking access to documents that they need to thoroughly vet Kavanaugh. The records are from Kavanaugh's time as a lawyer in President George W. Bush's administration. For the first time ever, the White House is claiming executive privilege and blocking access to more than 100,000 documents. Also tomorrow, the Madison Common Council is expected to approve a wheel tax. So anyone registering their car in the city will likely have to pay an extra $17 later this fall. It would go into effect in October. The fees would go directly toward the cost of road improvements and repairs around the city. This is in addition to the $28 annual fee in Dane County and $75 the state charges for vehicle registration every year. Madison alders are also expected to move forward with plans to install artificial turf at one of the city's most prominent dog parks. The council's considering spending at least $350,000 on fake grass for Brittingham Park on the corner of John Nolan and Broome Street. Tonight, the Common Council is set to approve plans so the city can start receiving bids for improvements there. A 3-year-old girl in Milwaukee was found safe today, but the people who took her are still on the loose tonight. According to the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network, Phoenix Dickens was abducted from her home around 2:30 in the morning. 2 men, allegedly armed with guns, entered the home and took the girl. Hours later, just after 6 a.m., an Amber Alert was issued asking for the public's help. She was found safe around 9:30, police say, in a bush. The search for a Madison man missing overseas continues today. 25-year-old Jonathan Luskin has been missing since June when he disappeared while vacationing in Slovenia. Luskin told friends he was going to hike through a national park in that country. His father, Alan, has been trying to track his son using Jonathan's searches on social media as well as maps that he downloaded. Police in Slovenia say they are still actively investigating. On this Labor Day holiday, Olive Garden is recognizing our local first responders for their dedication to our community. Amanda Quintana is in the news center with what this gesture meant and why it meant so much to officers in Sun Prairie. Amanda?
Yes, well, today all 850 Olive Gardens nationwide delivered pasta and breadsticks to local first responders. Police in Sun Prairie say they've been seeing support like this constantly since the deadly explosion almost 2 months ago. So this thank you from the Easttown location means a little more as the city continues to rebuild. For Olive Garden, this is their 13th year doing this, simply because they want to give back to those that protect us every day.
That was a very difficult time for our city, but our city has really come back stronger and more community-minded and together as we move forward to make the city prosper and move forward with rebuilding.
And it really just keeps us connected and thankful for the people who help us out every day, and it feels nice to give back and serve them the meals that we're so proud to serve every other day of the year.
Sergeant Smith says police often see a lot of bad, so they're happy to see so much good in their community. He says for the officers that have to work through the holiday weekend and don't get to be home with their families, it's nice to feel appreciated.
That is for sure, and well-deserved. Amanda Quintana in the newsroom tonight. Amanda, thank you. Still to come at 10, your updated forecast for the shortened work week and the first day of school for most kids tomorrow. But first, starting the conversation about back-to-school anxiety. We make time for kids coming up next at 10. Welcome back, everyone. Thinking about how safe your student is in the classroom has become an unavoidable part and sometimes unsettling part of heading back to school. Our Danica Lewis is taking time to talk about the anxiety surrounding the issue of security and how you can help your kids and yourself get through it.
There are the images we've all seen way too much. You know the ones I'm talking about, so there's no need to show them again. But between the marches,
The NRA has got to go! 50 miles more! Hear us roar!
the drills,
Let me in!
alarms, and state grants, specifically for security. We know it's something we can't ignore, but there's a difference between that
Stronger anxiety for kids in this generation.
and letting it steal our sense of safety at school.
And it's something that they're a lot more aware of.
SSM health therapist Britt Kuhlman says the kids that struggle most with the idea of a threat at school are probably already coping with something else.
Unless they had a real experience, and then it is more like acute trauma or post-traumatic stress. For most kids, they tend to have more of an anxious personality if that's something that also kind of catches on for them.
The state has committed $100 million to helping districts make their schools safer. Madison's getting almost $1 million for door locks. Janesville's getting more than $400,000 for radios and a fob system. And after some Verona parents said they were worried about plans for floor-to-ceiling windows at the new high school being built there, the district said it would use most of the $270,000 it received on shatterproof glass.
Parents are bringing up their concerns, kids are bringing up their concerns.
Kuhlman says it's important to separate our anxiety from how our kids are feeling.
It's okay, this is stressful for me. Of course it is. It's stressful for everybody. And I'm going to kind of put that on the back burner and get other support for that.
All right, let's go.
Even practicing for an emergency can make some students feel really anxious about it. Kuhlman says there's a way to think about that differently, too.
If there's lockdown drills, that's just another way to talk about, hey, I know that this is kind of scary, but think about how you're going to know what to do, right? And think about how this actually helps with making us safe at school.
And parents, maybe that's something for all of us to remember as well.
The school does have some things in place that they are working on and doing, and you were safe.
Taking time to talk.
That can be helpful on both sides.
Danica Lewis, WISC, News 3.
Gary's here now with a first check of the weather, and you might need an umbrella at the bus stop tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, you know, it won't be an all-day rain tomorrow. The better chances, I think, are tomorrow night into the day on Wednesday. But still, any rain is too much rain, and already that's happening this evening. We've got flash flood warning now in effect until 1:15 a.m. for northern Crawford, northern Richland, and southern Juneau counties, as well as areas back toward the La Crosse area. Heavy rain is moving to that area. Some flash flood watches down to the south will expire at midnight as those storms continue to lift toward the north. As we look at alert days, we still have one in for the remainder of tonight for heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds with the strongest thunderstorms, and then a chance for thunderstorms during the day tomorrow. Not a high chance at any point during the day, but any thunderstorm could bring heavy downpours. And then later on tomorrow night into Wednesday, a better chance for showers and thunderstorms, and any additional rainfall could lead to flooding. But tonight, most of the thunderstorm activity, at least over the next couple of hours, will be centered over southwestern through west central Wisconsin. That's where that flash flood warning is in effect. You can see that area here. Parts of Richland County just over the last couple of days have received about 3 to 4 inches of rain and about 1 to 3 inches through an area that received about 5 to 10 inches on Monday. Over the last couple of days, the heaviest rains have been to the south across parts of eastern Iowa, far southwestern Wisconsin, and northern Illinois. So everybody has been getting in on the action. And you can see not only flash flood warnings over west central Wisconsin, but back toward the Waterloo, Iowa area, and I'm sure more will be needed. And then we had some severe weather earlier, a couple of tornado reports in parts of eastern Iowa and even into parts of northern Illinois. Central City, Iowa had a couple of tornado touchdowns in that area, and a brief tornado touchdown in Loves Park just to the south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, causing some tree damage. Tomorrow, the severe weather outlook shows a marginal risk of an isolated severe thunderstorm, mainly north and west of Madison, tomorrow evening into early tomorrow night. But the rain, that's the big problem. And I think over the next couple of days, the highest probability of heaviest rains will be out toward the La Crosse area, and that's because what's lifting there tonight will probably stall across central Wisconsin during the day tomorrow. Our precipitation becomes a little more spotty. And then eventually it starts heading back to the south and east later tomorrow night into Wednesday with another round of showers and thunderstorms. Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison, a little bit of light rain tonight. High today 73, the low 69, so the temperature didn't move very much, and that's just because the air is so humid. Some light rain being reported at the airport. Temperature 72. Dew point is at 70. Tropical storm Gordon off the Florida coast here, starting to move into the Gulf of Mexico. Why is this important? Well, the problem with Gordon is it probably will become a minimal hurricane. Right now, top winds of 60 miles per hour. But the forecast from the National Hurricane Center actually brings it to the north and then brings the remnants to the north and northeast, perhaps toward the Midwest toward the end of the week, and that could bring additional heavy rainfall. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that. 69 for the overnight low temperature with some patchy fog along with the scattered showers and thunderstorms. High tomorrow 83. It'll be warm and humid, just a chance of thunderstorms during the day. Future track shows most of the shower and storm activity lifting to the north overnight, becomes more concentrated farther to the north, and a few pop-up showers and storms during the day tomorrow, any of which could bring a heavy downpour. Then tomorrow night, that area of storm starts heading back toward the south and east, and then eventually it pulls on through on Wednesday as a cold front moves through. Rainfall amounts generally about 1 to 3 inches over southern Wisconsin, but the heaviest amounts of 4 or 5 inches plus are possible, and heavier thunderstorms to our north and to our west. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, hopefully we'll have a couple of days to dry out. That would be Thursday and Friday. And then a lot of it depends on what happens with Gordon as we head from Friday night into Saturday and early Sunday with shower and thunderstorm chances. Next week, maybe some storms toward the end of the week, but maybe a couple of dry days at least early on.
Let's hope so. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you so much, Gary.
Sure.
Coming up in sports, the Badger volleyball team might have to invest in a case of earplugs. Kevin explains why next.
The Packers open the season Sunday night against the Bears, and if you think players don't have preseason cabin fever, you are 100% wrong. Packer safety Clinton Dix dressed up as a minion to keep his mind occupied as we finally hit game week. Clinton Dix said he just wants to cut it loose because the games count, and he also said he's thankful that he gets to be part of the Packers' 100th season of football.
Very excited. I'm excited that preseason is over with. Got a chance to experience some time.
I like it. I really do like it. We'll see what they have for the Bears on Sunday Night Football. Well, when you win the season opener, you get to hang with Metallica. Wisconsin quarterback Alex Hornibrook and running back Jonathan Taylor weren't even ideas when Metallica was huge, but they stood the test of time. Hornibrook and Taylor are new fans. Thank goodness they're used to being in loud venues like Camp Randall on Saturdays.
Metallica might be the loudest thing that I've ever been to. My ears were buzzing for like an hour afterwards, so it's pretty loud when we score a touchdown too, though. We've never been to a rock concert. I've been to a couple country. He's been to a couple, but it was different. We liked it a lot. It was fun.
The unbeaten Wisconsin volleyball teams now ranked second in the country. 10th time in school history, the Badgers have been ranked that high. They swept this weekend's Hotel Red Invitational, including a win over then number 2 Texas. Now, they did it in front of monster crowds. Fans camped out 4 hours before the ball went up this weekend. Now, this offseason, UW opened up some more seats in the field house, and Kelly Sheffield's bunch filled all 7,000 plus of them.
If I was talking at the top of my lungs with people that were right here in front of me, they could hear me. But if I'm talking here, this person, if I wasn't facing them, couldn't hear what I was saying. That's pretty crazy. I can't imagine a better environment to be on the court to play a volleyball match. It is loud. The fans are right on top of you. It's not sterile. It's a great venue when it's packed.
Brewers and Cubs starting a 3-game series at Miller Park. Brewers up 2-1 in the 8th. Josh Hader throws a fastball, and Anthony Rizzo is not impressed with a runner aboard and 2 outs. 24th long ball of the year puts the Cubs up 3-2. We're far from finished. Bases loaded for the Brewers in the bottom of the 8th. Mike Moustakas watches ball 4 from Carl Edwards. That one ties the game at 3. Bottom 9, they're loaded for the Brewers again. Christian Yelich making a run at MVP. Shoots one to Chris Bryant, who goes to third. Yelich too fast. Beats the throw to first. Brewers win 4-3. It's their 10th walk-off of the season. All right, final round, Dell Technologies Championship. Tiger Woods, the real, maybe, Tiger Woods, sinks the putt here, and then I say plural because is that Tiger Woods? Is that fake? I think he fooled a couple people with selfies and stuff, and that woman thinks he certainly is, and then the real Tiger Woods doesn't even dap up the fake one. Come on. He'll be fine. Just go to Vegas. You'll be all right. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Standing there waiting for his moment.
Well, we have a flash flood warning in effect until 1:15 a.m. for northern Crawford, northern Richland, and southern portions of Juneau County. More heavy thunderstorms heading into that area. And look at the precipitation forecast over the next couple of days. 1 to 3 inches generally, some localized 4, 5, or 6 inch amounts, and heavier thunderstorms mainly north and west of Madison. Next dry period, maybe Thursday and Friday. Then we'll have to watch out what happens with Tropical Storm Gordon if it brings us moisture for the weekend. And then more thunderstorms toward the end of next week.
Oh boy, what we do not need. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.